risk and reward, the kind of risks that we take in business and in life, and maybe driving home tonight, or maybe not that, Vanessa. Good for you, me too. So the kind of risks that are in my life and the people that I work with are the risks of making movies and maybe not coming back with good footage, or going on the high mountains and maybe falling off, or the things like that can happen in risk. I'll let you read that. So it was my friend Charlie who took a lot of risks in business. He made a lot of money, and then he took on new risks and bought a boat and sailed across the Atlantic and invited his friends along. And so that's one of the kinds of risk that is associated with reward and risk. And then on the other side, we think about the consequences of risk, because that's not the reward kind of risk. It's the consequences that can happen, especially if you do this when you're blind. And this one, there was a 20-foot deep lake here half an hour before, and we saw the water disappear because there was an earthquake and the ice cracked, and we ran out there, ignoring all the risks, and got the camera out to get a shot, and the sound man holding my back. But let me talk about this guy. He had a lot of faith in a group of people to take a big risk and attempt to climb Mount Everest. And so his risk was in trusting all of us. But he also had a bigger mission. This guy's kind of audacious. He doesn't actually play guitar. And he's also blind, and he is audacious enough to think that he could actually climb Mount Everest. And so he asked some friends to go with him. And of course, the experts were all out there, and they said, well, that's very risky. You're not going to be able to see bad weather. You're not going to be able to see when the avalanches are coming. You're going to put yourself at risk. You're going to put your team at risk. And you really shouldn't do this crazy mission to climb Mount Everest. But in fact, he did go and climb Mount Everest, and it changed the world. And I think people don't understand that he had a different perspective about risk and what it meant and why he wanted to seek it out. And also, in the risk that we took by joining him on that trip, it changed our lives for the better from then on. And in so many ways, and allowed me to come up and take the risk of standing in front of you right now. I'm way ahead of myself. So the other side of risk, in 1999, I went with a group of people to a mountain in Tibet called Shishapangma, and we were going to be the first Americans to ski down an 8,000 or 26,000 foot peak. And among our team were Dave Bridges, a cinematographer, and Alex Loa, celebrated alpinist, and Conrad Anker and Hans Sari, a really amazing group of people. And we set out and got to the mountain, and we're getting ready to do this incredible thing, and an avalanche came and tragically took the lives of David and Alex. And for me, it changed everything, because I suddenly understood what that risk really meant. And the big surprise for me was that I didn't leave the mountains at that stage. I found that by going back and being there, I found solace, and that was the place I was the most comfortable. And that was the surprise of that. And I think for the rest of the team, the same holds true, is that we owed it to our friends to keep going and celebrate their lives, because that's part of the risk-reward equation. And when things don't go well, you have to keep going. The same with the cameras that we use when we're shooting these films, as I sometimes wish that I had as much protection in boxes and things like that as they do, to go down into these holes in the ice in Greenland and avoid getting crushed. Also, risks in business, in the film business. We didn't have really much risk on these camels, but we risked a lot of money on this film and lost it all because it was a really bad idea. And then other times making IMAX movies, doing really ridiculously risky things just for a great shot, because IMAX is such a nice medium, like being halfway up the Eiger in Switzerland and getting flown in with a pendulum moved by the helicopter swinging back and forth to get us to the platform. So whether you're a kayaker or a mountain climber or a blind man or going to try to drive home tonight, or a filmmaker, don't get a DUI and have a lot of fun. Thank you.